The song that ended too soon. How Yumenglong's silence broke a million hearts. There are moments in life when silence speaks louder than any song, and on that fateful day, the world was left in unbearable quiet. Yumenglong, the voice that once carried the rhythm of tenderness, the man whose presence was poetry in motion, has gone silent forever. His name, once synonymous with art, beauty, and unshakable grace, now echoes through millions of hearts aching to hear his laughter one more time. It is impossible to grasp how quickly the melody ended. A life so full of promise, harmony, and light, suddenly cut short. Yumenglong was not just a star. He was a feeling, a presence that transcended the screen and seeped deep into the souls of those who watched him. His fans called him the gentle storm, a rare blend of calm and intensity, someone who could make a scene linger in your mind long after it ended. But now, that storm has passed, leaving behind an ocean of tears. The news of his passing spread like wildfire. Social media feeds turned into shrines. Profile pictures changed overnight to his smiling face. His name trended in every language, in every corner of the world, followed by words that broke even the strongest hearts. Gone too soon. It felt like a cruel dream, one the world was unwilling to wake from. Those who had seen his recent interviews remembered his bright eyes, his quiet smile. No one could have imagined that behind those eyes, time was already running out. Friends, colleagues, and fans alike found themselves asking the same unanswerable question. Why him? Why now? The man who once filled stages with laughter and songs, who carried every role with such soulful precision, had suddenly left behind a silence so heavy it could crush the spirit. Yumenglong's death wasn't just the loss of an artist. It was the loss of a light that warmed millions of hearts. Every memory of him now feels sacred. Those soft moments caught on camera, his laughter between takes, his gentle bow to fans, his unassuming kindness, have become pieces of history frozen in time. To the world, he was the picture of elegance, but to those who knew him closely, he was the embodiment of humility. He often said that art was a bridge between hearts, and perhaps that's why he reached so many. His performances weren't mere acts, they were emotional confessions. In the wake of his death, an entire generation of admirers found themselves mourning not only the man, but also the dreams he represented. Yumenglong was proof that gentleness could still command attention in a world so loud and restless. His songs carried vulnerability, his acting, truth. He had an uncanny way of making every line feel like it was written just for you, as though he could see through the noise of life straight into your heart. Now, all that remains are echoes, clips, interviews, behind-the-scenes laughter, fragments of a melody that ended far too soon. Fans play his songs not just to remember him, but to feel connected to the man behind the voice. There's a haunting beauty in hearing him sing now. Every lyric feels prophetic, every word soaked in the weight of finality. His silence now carries more emotion than any note he ever sang. Those who worked with him describe a man who treated everyone with quiet respect. He wasn't loud, he wasn't demanding, he simply was. He carried a calm that made people around him feel seen, understood, safe. It is that same calm that now haunts everyone who loved him, because it's gone, replaced by the hollow ache of an unfinished song. At candlelight vigils across Asia, fans gathered with flowers, photos, and trembling voices, singing his songs in unison. In cities from Beijing to Seoul, the sound of his music drifted through the night like a prayer, soft yet unyielding. He gave us more than we ever gave him, one fan whispered, holding a candle close to her chest. And now, we just want to give him this light back. Celebrities and co-stars flooded social media with tributes. Some wrote long, tear-stained posts. Others could only share a single photo, the two of them laughing on set or standing side by side, unaware that time was so fleeting. One particular message stood out from a fellow actor who said, "He never chased fame, he chased feeling, and that's why we'll never forget him." It's true, YUMENGLONG's artistry was never about grandeur. It was about connection. He wasn't the loudest star in the sky, but he was the one that shone the most sincerely. He didn't need extravagant performances to touch hearts. A simple glance, a quiet smile, a whisper in his voice could move mountains. He taught his fans that emotion didn't need to scream to be heard. Sometimes it just needed to exist. His legacy now lives in the spaces between the noise, in the pause before a lyric, the silence after applause, the stillness of remembering. It's almost as if his death transformed him into what he always sang about: a fleeting dream, a gentle wind, a beautiful moment that cannot last forever. And perhaps in that way his story isn't one of tragedy, but of eternity. Yet, for those who loved him, it still feels like betrayal. The universe took him too soon, too suddenly, before he could finish his song. The world wasn't ready to lose him. His fans speak of unfinished plans, unreleased music, and upcoming projects that now will never see completion. It's the cruelest part of grief, knowing what could have been and realizing it never will be. Still, there's a strange peace in the pain, a soft understanding that maybe his purpose was fulfilled not through longevity, but through depth. Some souls don't need a lifetime to leave a mark, they only need a moment. And YUMENGLONG, in his short yet powerful journey, managed to leave behind an ocean of emotion. His art continues to breathe even when he no longer can. People often say time heals, but when it comes to someone like YUMENGLONG, time doesn't erase, it preserves. His name will be whispered in every melody that speaks of love, loss, and beauty. His face will live in the minds of those who saw in him a reflection of purity and grace. His silence, though painful, has become the most powerful verse of his song, one that the world will never stop replaying. Somewhere, perhaps, the stars shine a little brighter now. Maybe he's still singing, not for the world, but for the heavens. Maybe the universe needed his light more than we did. And though his silence has broken a million hearts, it has also bound them together in a shared love that transcends death itself. YUMENGLONG's story will forever remind us that even the most beautiful songs must end, but true melodies never fade. They linger in the hearts of those who listen, long after the last note has fallen. And in that endless echo he lives on, not as a memory, but as music itself. Because sometimes the song doesn't need to last forever to be eternal. Sometimes the briefest harmony can change the world. And though his song has ended too soon, the silence he left behind will always carry his tune, a gentle, haunting reminder of the beauty he gave and the love he inspired. The world may have lost YUMENGLONG, but the rhythm of his soul plays on, in every tear, every smile, every moment when his name is spoken softly, like a prayer. The silence he left is not emptiness. It is his final masterpiece, the sound of a love too deep for words, echoing forever in the hearts he touched. The night after the news of YUMENGLONG's passing broke, the world seemed to slow down. The city lights dimmed, and the stars above looked like candles flickering in mourning. Across screens everywhere his image lingered, smiling softly, eyes that once glimmered with endless dreams now frozen in time. People refreshed their feeds again and again, hoping to see a correction, a denial, anything that could undo what had happened. But all they saw were tears, thousands of them, flowing from hearts that refused to accept that their beloved star's song had truly ended. In Beijing, fans gathered silently outside his studio. The air was thick with grief, the kind that weighed on the chest like a stone. Some held roses, others held handwritten notes, confessions of love, gratitude, and sorrow. A young fan stood, trembling with a candle in her hand, and whispered, "You promised us another song, and we promised to wait. Why did you stop singing, Menglong?" Her words cracked through the silence, a plea that echoed into the night. Around her, others began to hum his most beloved tune, the melody of "Gentle Breeze," their voices quivering, breaking yet united. It was not a concert. It was a goodbye the world never wanted to say. His music videos, once watched with joy, now felt like glimpses of something sacred. Fans replayed his soft smiles, the moments he looked into the camera as if he could see straight through the lens into their hearts. Every lyric now felt like prophecy, every smile a farewell. The lines, "Even if the wind stops, I'll keep singing your name," had become a haunting reminder that maybe, in some poetic twist, Yumenglong had already written his goodbye without us realizing it. Friends who had known him personally recalled the quiet gentleness that defined him. He was the kind of man who remembered the smallest details, who would ask about your day even when his own was heavy. On set, he was the calm amidst chaos, often humming softly between takes, lost in melodies no one else could hear. One of his close co-stars shared he was never loud, but when he entered a room, everything felt lighter. It's strange now walking into those same rooms and realizing the light is gone. For those who admired him from afar, Yumenglong was a symbol of what artistry should be: pure, heartfelt, and humble. He carried his fame with grace, never boasting, never demanding the spotlight. He believed art was a conversation, not a performance. That's why fans didn't just watch him, they felt him. Every role he played seemed to mirror fragments of his soul. The quiet hero, the dreamer, the one who loved deeply but always ached in silence. Now, people can't help but see those characters as reflections of his real self. A man who gave the world everything while hiding his own pain behind that gentle smile. In the days following his death, tributes poured in from every corner of the entertainment world. Musicians wrote songs for him, actors shared behind-the-scenes memories, and fans created thousands of artworks, each trying to capture what words could not. One image went viral, a portrait of Yumenglong surrounded by music notes dissolving into stars. The caption read, "He didn't stop singing, he just changed the stage." That sentiment carried through vigils held around the world. In Seoul, Tokyo, Bangkok, and even Paris, fans gathered in parks and squares holding candles, playing his songs on loop. The crowd would fall silent for moments at a time, listening not to music, but to the emptiness he left behind. And in that silence, many claimed they could almost feel him there, smiling softly as he always did. His family released a brief message days later, a note so simple and yet so piercing it brought fresh tears to those who read it. He gave his all to the world. Please remember him with love, not sorrow. But how could they not mourn? His departure was not just the loss of a person. It was the silencing of a symphony that had barely begun. His last project, a drama yet to be released, has now become a symbol of his legacy. Those who saw early screenings said his performance was unlike any other, layered with depth, pain, and sincerity. Watching it now feels like watching a man who somehow knew he was saying goodbye. Every look, every line feels like his final conversation with the world. It's both beautiful and unbearable. In his absence, something extraordinary happened. The people he inspired began to create. Fans started writing songs, painting portraits, composing poems in his honor. His death, though devastating, awakened a wave of artistry across continents. It's as though he passed on his light, scattering it among the hearts that loved him, urging them to keep singing where he could not. A line from one of his interviews resurfaced online. "If one day my voice goes quiet, I hope my songs still find a way to comfort someone." Those words now feel prophetic, almost divine. His silence is not the end. It's a different kind of song, one without notes but filled with emotion. It's the sound of a million hearts beating in rhythm, united by loss, love, and remembrance. The world continues to mourn, but within that grief lies gratitude. Gratitude for having heard his voice, for having witnessed his art, for having known a soul so genuine. Yumenglong may have left too soon, but he left beautifully, with kindness, with humility, with grace that will outlive time itself. His story reminds us that fame fades, but sincerity endures, that sometimes the brightest stars don't burn the longest, but they light up the sky in ways that are never forgotten. And though his song has ended, its echo carries on, through his music, his performances, and the millions of people who still whisper his name like a prayer. In the quiet that follows his departure, there is still a strange sense of warmth, as if he's gently reminding us that love never dies, it just changes form. YUMENGLONG's silence may have broken a million hearts, but it also connected them, weaving together a tapestry of emotion, loyalty, and eternal remembrance. And so, the world listens, not to the noise of grief, but to the softest sound imaginable, the echo of a song that ended too soon, still drifting through the wind. The melody may have stopped, but its beauty remains. For as long as there are hearts that beat in rhythm with his memory, YUMENGLONG's silence will never truly be silence at all. It will be music still playing softly forever.